Okay, so good morning, everybody. It's good to see you all, and it's great to have Hiroshi here. We've been luckily to get him, and he's got his dog with him today in case he barks. So let's hope it all goes well. But I guess first of all, I'll give you a little bit of an explanation because when I was at university, I came across one of your books, and I did illustration at university, and you were one of the artists that I came across. They didn't speak about fashion illustration much on my course, but a few years above me was Jason Brooks, and I guess he was starting to push fashion illustration quite heavily. And then your book came on the scene, and I guess it was quite an interesting, experience for me to have. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring up a little bit of a presentation that I've done so we can have a little see of your sort of process and what's interested me in your workflow. And let's just share this. So let's start. And okay, so you'll probably recognize some of these pieces, but I guess these were the classical pieces for me. So when I started seeing your work, and I guess Hiroshi, you can explain a little bit as well. So the book in the middle was the first book that I was introduced about your practice, the yellow one. And I guess what was intriguing to me was the technique and the approach to working. So I guess what would be interesting to hear from you is really a little bit about what got you into illustration and fashion, and your approach to drawing.
Well, actually, it was frozen. Could you ask me again because I couldn't hear.
Sorry. What I was saying, what introduced you to illustration and what attracted you to the fashion side of illustration?
Because when I was in Tokyo, I was friend of the fashion illustrator in Japan. His name is Michael Economy. He was doing for I think Anasui logo and the band called D-Light. He was doing the illustration. And also I knew Jeffrey Furumimari. He was also illustrator. He just started in New York. And also my friend was assistant of the Matt Gustafson. He was a top illustrator in the 80s, 90s, whatever. So I didn't want to be an illustrator, but I just tried to draw. So many friends is a fashion illustrator, so I was influenced by them. So luckily, the connection made me a fashion illustrator in New York.
And what did you train as? Were you trained?
So because I was graduated Tama University, which is a Issei Miyake graduated, and I was working. I was studying at graphic design. And also after I graduated Tama University, I moved to Italy in Milan for studying art in Accademia di Brera art for 2 years. Right. So I was drawing, yes. So, but basically illustration, I was drawing when I was living in Italy. Before that, I was not really interested, really.
And I guess what I've got up here is a technique that really drew me to your work, and I'd seen lots of people inspired by your work. And what made you, what inspired you to draw this technique? Or because it's very detailed, it had this sort of very dotty dashed line as well. So you kind of move from a very fine pencil line to this very like fine dashed line. And I saw lots of people imitating your style when I was going through university.
Um, I don't know because basically my drawing is very simple and so many space the background. So I need a density
Yeah,
in some point. So that's why I do the hair or like texture. Try to make very um, how do you call
detailed.
detail? Yes, detail.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like a balance. Because if I too much detail, it's gonna be too much.
yeah,
But I like the space, so that's why some parts, you know,
yeah.
um, yeah.
I guess you can see like the graphical shapes. You're making
Mhm.
lots of positive and negative shapes through the drawing and then focusing on the detail. So I guess that's where the graphic design side comes in, is the
Yes.
shape building and the forms. It becomes
Mhm.
quite abstract. So these I put these together because the one in the top left of the girl, that's in the V&A collection. I spotted it was in the V&A collection, which is amazing. And there's not many illustrators who actually make it into the V&A. So it's great to see a piece of work. And what was this piece of work for?
Um, Actually, this is for fashion illustration gallery in London,
Right.
and he introduced me the DNA, V and A,
Yeah.
and we donated for
Right.
like 5 illustration, I think.
Right. Okay. Excellent. And I guess there's this colorful one down the bottom. I don't know if that's for Pucci or
Gucci,
Masai.
yes, Gucci.
Pucci. Okay. And it has a very screen print look. It feels quite graphic, like a screen print. How's that feel? And how was this done? Because I guess it was done quite a while ago. Was it done on computer or by hand?
I draw. Usually, I draw by hand for the drawing, and this one is I use the Photoshop for change the color because the client always want exact color.
Right.
So um, usually I draw the line and scan it and change the color as the product color.
Yeah.
Especially the Pucci, there's a lot, so many colors. So yeah, so I use the Photoshop.
And how are your Photoshop skills? Because lots of people who have a very analog approach to drawing, an old style or a technique to
Mhm.
drawing, sometimes get lost in the computer. Do you have a very basic knowledge, or are you really good on computers now?
Um, I try to use computer really minimum
Yeah,
because if I use, I never draw on a computer, just a pen. Otherwise, if I use too much, it looks so cold
yeah,
and it looks like a computer graphic.
yeah.
So
Good. I was hoping you were going to say that. Because a lot of people sometimes move to computer and then they forget the beauty
yeah,
of drawing and the process of drawing, and it's sort of a therapy as well to actually draw and bring
mhm.
that hand approach. So it's nice
Yeah,
to hear.
it's not, it's very dangerous because if everybody using computer right now, so if you use so many, how do you say, Photoshop, Illustrator, everybody they have no personality. It's more like just a computer graphic. So you know,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
try to use a very minimum,
good,
just a change color or something. Yeah.
good. The basics, perfect.
Hmm.
Um, and then I guess another side to you, which is quite interesting and has a very graphic side, and it reminds me of sort of lino prints or etchings, is this sort of negative positive drawing. Um, did you think of traditional mediums to make this? Like this could be woodcuts. Uh,
Um, no, but I like the um how do you call woodcut prints art, but if client ask me, those are all editorial stuff. So
yeah,
if they ask me, only deadlines always maybe 1 week, maybe 5 days. So that is impossible to do the woodcut. So I like the idea of the look like woodcut, but just pen and the print. Middle one is just a Xerox machine on the orange paper. Then look like, you know what I mean?
excellent, excellent. No, it's really good to hear because I remember at college using the Xerox machine and the photocopier and putting
Uh,
the drawings through and playing with paper, and it has a really interesting texture, and it's
yes, yes, yes.
so nice to see. It's really these are fantastic. And was this so? These were editorials for which magazines?
I think I forget. Maybe New Yorker,
Yeah,
maybe, maybe New Yorker. I don't remember that one. But the yeah, that one is S magazine in London,
right,
and the above purple one is it's called Nova
right, okay.
London, and the left side was I think um Japanese Vogue, I think.
Ah, good. It's
Hmm.
interesting to see the different editorials being used in different countries because where do most of your commissions come from? Japan or UK or where?
Um, it depends. Um, hmm. When I live in New York, I was living in New York from 92 to 2017. I worked for lots of Paris Vogue and British Vogue because I won Cecil Beaton Award like Jason Brooks.
Yes.
So that's why I have a connection. I work with the British Vogue a lot and Vogue Japan, Harper's Bazaar. Oh, but regularly I working for the New Yorker for like 15 years. So maybe America's
Is the
uh,
man
man, yeah, it was. Yeah.
and is that the art director is Chris
Pretty worried.
yes, Chris Curry. Yeah, she's commissioned me a few times for
Hmm.
many portraits. So, and she's great, and she lets you be quite experimental and playful. So she's quite a good art director, and she's been there 20,
Hmm.
30 years, as long as as long as I've known. She's been there
Yes.
quite a while. Um, and then I guess your relationship with Shiseido is quite an interesting relationship because you've got a very different approach to Shiseido. I don't know, there's a real mix of styles, techniques, approaches. You're starting to be more playful with the face, the portrait. Explain a little bit of your thought process behind Shiseido and the journey you've gone through.
Yes, because this is the catalog for Shiseido members every month. But I was working for 13 years. But this catalog is already closed, but I was working for 13 years. So every year they ask me to change the style. And I try to experiment a new style. And they like, sometimes it's good, sometimes bad, but it was really good experience for me because I don't have to continue my style, which is like unusual. Usually they ask me do your style, but Shiseido and also Anna Sui, they always asking me whatever I want to do, like something new style. So Shiseido Anna Sui is like always experimental for me. So that's why it's changing the style.
And how do you approach that? Because a lot of people spend so long developing a style, and then for someone to say go crazy and have fun, what
Well,
do you do?
Yeah, because the right side, the red one is like my style. It's like pen and just a pen. But left side, I using the pencil because I want to totally change the no line, just a shade and yeah, just a color. So totally different approach. So I want to do that if it works or not. So I was trying to do
And and
those.
and then you've got the one with the big eyes. It feels quite animation.
Yes, yes. That's also usually my drawing is like if I drawing the eye, it's almost like a photograph. But left side is like I want something else, more like a cartoon, not cartoon, but more like abstract or more soft. So yeah, I want to do. I'm tired of the same style, so it was very good opportunity. So,
Yeah, and did you get many more commissions from this sort of style? Did it bring in new work
um, you mean this style?
with the big eyes? Yeah.
Actually, no, only Shiseido. But I was continue like maybe 2 years this style.
Ah, okay. I think it's really interesting, and you could almost imagine it in a music video or something a
Uh-huh.
little bit more trippy and a bit more
Right.
alternative. So I think it's really hard to break the mold and be super creative, and you need really creative people to bring in that style and that technique. It's hard to crack that code. So, it's interesting to hear to see how people go beyond the norm, what looks normal, and sort of in reality. And then I guess this was quite an interesting. I can see a connection between that big-eyed style and
Uh,
this, and
right.
sort of mixing. Is this quite new? When was this done?
That was maybe 5 years ago, maybe.
Okay,
Left side is 3 years ago.
right.
It it's um the makeup artist Ayako. She's very famous in New York. She has her own. She had own cosmetic company called Addiction, and she asked me to do maybe 3 years for a different palette. So yeah, it's try to be very simple, but it's pop, but it's a little bit erotic. That's they want. So I did that.
Yeah, and I love that sort of cheekiness of with the tongues coming out. It's quite
Right.
it's quite fun. Was that their idea or something that you brought into the mix?
Usually I had I had a drawing like that. I draw like maybe 15 years ago. This is ice candy, but it was just a lollipop. So the creative director likes my original illustration, and she said, I want to that, but not lollipop. So different thing. So I changed to ice candy.
Right. But it's a lovely pit. And it has, like I said to you, it has that grainy texture that feels like it could be a print. It feels quite. You're bringing the graphic style in.
Do you see this? Can you see? No,
It's
it's
very lit up. Oh
reflective.
yeah, yeah. The other one. I've got. I think I've posted this one of the two
That
that.
one is the original one.
Ah, okay.
So she likes that one. That's why. So
Ah,
she asked me for the palette.
and it's lovely because it's got that sort of spray can feel as well, like you've sprayed the face and these very bright poppy block colors. Um,
Yes.
and have you thought of taking these into more limited edition? Like, because they'd work beautifully as sort of screen prints or lithography prints. Have you ever gone down that route as well?
No, I should. Yes.
I think because the style lends so well into that space, and we're seeing, I can imagine it in 3D. You know, that
Mm.
your work really lends them sort of spaces, and I guess it's just you taking it a little bit further because they'd be great for window. Did they ever get made into bigger pieces as well?
Only for display. It's not. I didn't try like big thing at all. It's like always kind of small.
And what size do you work? Size A4, A3?
Usually A4, A3.
Is that
Yes.
because of the scanner? Because your scanner's A4?
Um, yeah. Also, I usually draw A3. Then I scan it, and the magazine size is A4. Right. Usually, I my work is editor. It was editorial, so yeah, I draw like a little bit bigger, then makes a little bit shrink. So it's gonna be more
Detailed.
density for the hair, whatever. So
Yeah, good. And these to me was the introduction of a bit of typography as well. So we had a bit
mm,
of type. And do you
mm,
like to introduce typography? There's kind of a very graphic play of type on the eyes with Stussy, and then
mm.
you've got this other text. How was so you're sort of mixing styles here? I can really imagine these as t-shirt prints. Was that a t-shirt print for Stussy?
Yeah, t-shirts and bags and yeah, t-shirts and bags. And Gap is also t-shirts. And the light one is a Japanese company, Lavrea, and that's for t-shirts too. But also the light one, Lavrea drawing, Escada likes those drawings. So they want to use for the perfume bottle, uh, perfume package. So they
Yes.
use same package, but except change the Escada, the eyes and the clothes
And
logo.
do you not propose to them sometimes, I would like to do it again in a different way? Or like most illustrators, you're like, don't worry, let's just get it through and get it done.
Sorry, not Spain.
No, so what I mean is that when a brand comes in and says, can you just change that, take that out and add our name in? Sometimes do you say, it would be nice to redo it or try something new?
Oh, it's 変えることで。I think depends, but it's really depends because editorial usually they don't say that so much, but advertising I do it just because it's for the advertisement, so I have to follow the rules. So I
Yeah,
change whatever they said. Yeah.
yeah. And because usually advertising it's quite tight and they have an idea and they say, do what we say, and you follow the path
Yeah,
basically.
because so many meeting they doing.
Yeah,
So I have to say, because sometimes Toyota, the car company,
yeah,
they gave me a job and they already made the illustration using my style. I have to follow everything. I don't really draw. I have to almost trace because that's they want. It's crazy. I mean, but I have to follow it.
and I guess sometimes, like you were talking earlier, you have more creative freedom, and then sometimes, like Toyota, you just follow the rules, and
Right.
because the team is so big, and
Yeah.
also the budget is so big. Um, what?
And they already made so many meeting for presentation. They using my old drawing, changed to some little bit, and the president say yes. So I have to follow it. I cannot change anything. I can't,
And
even I don't want to.
what would you say has been your most exciting project so far?
Um, I don't know. I like to work with Anna Sui because she gave me very freedom and the same kind of taste. I don't know, rock. and the 70s, 60s, 80s, and the young and the fun. So usually t-shirts, she gave me just a theme and I can do whatever I want. So it's really fun job.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
and that's quite rare. That's very
Yeah,
rare.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
She's special, so it's usually not.
yeah. So that's quite a lucky project. And as we said, we wanted to keep it quite short, but this was a beautiful combination of typography and illustration. We have a few people on the talk, so I don't know if any of them want to have any questions. So we've got. Let me just see if I can. I'm just going to stop this, stop share, so we can see you. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask or put them in the chat or post them, and I'm sure Hiroshi can answer. I don't know if you've got anything else you'd like to say, Hiroshi, while you're on here. I know we've got
Oh,
your lovely dog. How's your
oh,
dog? What's your dog's name?
his name is Futa.
Does
Futa.
that mean anything, or is it just a name?
Its fu means a wind boy,
Wind boy.
wind boy.
Good. So I don't know if anyone has a question, but feel free to jump in or
May I just say something, please, Patrick?
yes, that's fine.
This is Patricia. I'm from Ireland, and I just want to say what an honor it is, an absolute honor it is to see you and to hear you speaking about your work. I have adored your work, and I find it absolutely inspirational. So thank you so much for giving your time today to talk to us. It's been truly educational and inspirational. I really thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hiroshi. And I just saw we have another illustrator, Francesco Lacona, and he was just saying thank you and what an amazing opportunity. And Hiroshi, I know I've been badgering you to do this talk, so I'm very grateful. And I know you were worried about your English, but your English is probably as good as mine. So
No,
Your English is better. Your English is better than Patrick's.
yes. So but thank you so much, Hiroshi, and hopefully you'll get your book in the post. The English post is as good as the internet, so it might get there next year. But thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to doing more things and getting to speak to you more. And we're so lucky. So thank you very much.
okay, so just before I let you, I go. Do you have this book?
Do I
No.
have it? I have it from college, but I'll have to find it somewhere. Why are you going to send me a copy?
Because this book is a art director called Hideki Nakajima. He just passed 2 years ago,
Oh, no.
and it was open. If you press, can you see? To change the color on the
All right.
heat.
Yeah, clever.
And that was thermal printing.
Yeah,
When I was at
early days.
university, we never took the cover off. So I
Oh yeah. So
noticed.
nobody knows actually, because there's no advertise for this. So, but people doesn't know it. That's why I let you know.
Uh,
But, but if you want, I can send you to.
yes, I'll send you my address and we can make sure that we swap somehow. But
Okay.
thank you, Hiroshi. And I never knew that. And I've in every college I told them to buy the book. So it's really good to see that. And it's a little trick that no one knows. So thank you. Uh, have a good day and thanks again, Hiroshi.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye bye.